What if I told you that the tiniest creatures on Earth could bring the whole world to its knees, just by vanishing? Imagine waking up one day to a world completely free of buzzing, crawling, or stinging insects. No mosquitoes biting, no flies buzzing in your ear, and no ants invading your kitchen. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, be careful what you wish for, because if all insects disappeared, it wouldn't be a dream. It would be a global disaster. Welcome to Wildica, the home of wild facts and wilder questions. Today, we're diving into a creepy, crawly, and surprisingly catastrophic scenario. What if all insects disappeared from Earth? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself thanking the next bee or beetle you see. Let's hit the big red button. Poof. All insects are gone. No more wasps crashing your picnic. No more spiders lurking in corners. Yes, we know they're arachnids, but still. The first few days, people might actually celebrate. Farmers might smile thinking of pest-free crops. City folks might take deeper breaths outdoors, loving the mosquito-free air. But within weeks, cracks would begin to show, and then widen into massive global faults. You see, insects aren't just annoying little bugs. They're the support beams of entire ecosystems. Let's start with something sweet: pollination. Over 80% of the world's flowering plants, including fruits, veggies, nuts, and even coffee, rely on insect pollinators like bees, butterflies, moths, and beetles. Without them, pollination halts. That juicy strawberry you love? Gone. Apples, history, almonds, say goodbye. Coffee? Let's not even go there. Some of us won't survive that emotionally. Sure, some plants are wind-pollinated, and humans could try hand-pollinating. But let's be real. There are over 20,000 bee species doing this job for free, 24/7. Can we really replace them all with tiny paintbrushes? We're talking about a food chain domino effect here. Crops fail. Food prices skyrocket. Entire agricultural industries collapse. And that's not all. It gets worse. Insects are a primary food source for thousands of animals. Birds, frogs, bats, fish, even mammals like anteaters and some primates rely on them. Take away the insects, and these animals face starvation. Their populations begin to crash. And then the predators that eat those animals suffer too. What we're talking about here is nothing short of ecological collapse. The web of life is delicate. Pull out one string, insects, and the whole thing begins to unravel. But that's just nature, right? What about us humans? Surely we'll be fine with our technology, right? Not so fast. Food shortages will be the first big human problem. Fewer crops, less livestock feed, lower yields. That leads to massive hunger and economic stress, especially in developing countries. But that's not all insects do. Insects also play a critical role in waste removal and decomposition. Ever wonder what happens to dead animals or rotting plants in the wild? Insects like flies, beetles, and maggots break that stuff down, returning nutrients to the soil. Without them, decay slows down. Corpses linger. Waste piles up. The earth literally starts rotting in slow motion. Our clean modern world suddenly isn't so clean. And don't forget water systems. Aquatic insects like mayflies and dragonfly larvae help keep freshwater clean and balanced. Without them, water quality tanks and harmful bacteria and algae start taking over. So now we're talking food shortages, trash buildup, disease, and dirty water. And remember, we're only a few months in. Now here's something eerie. In a world without insects, it gets too quiet. Have you ever walked through a forest at night and heard the chorus of crickets, cicadas, and buzzing? Without them, nature feels dead. Sound might seem like a small thing, but it's a sign of life. The silence would be psychological, haunting. The quiet wouldn't just be heard. It would be felt. You'd know something is terribly wrong. Guess who else relies on insects? Medicine. Many drugs and treatments are derived from insect compounds. For instance, maggots are used in some medical treatments to clean wounds. Yes, it's gross, but incredibly effective. Bee venom is being studied for treatments of diseases like arthritis and even cancer. Without insects, We'd lose a rich source of medical breakthroughs. Science would be robbed of countless cures hidden in the tiniest of creatures. So not only are we hungrier, dirtier, and thirstier, we're also sicker. All because the bugs are gone. Let's ask the big question. Could humans survive in a world without insects? Technically, maybe. But it would be a shell of the world we know. We'd need to create artificial pollinators on a massive scale. We'd have to rethink agriculture, pest control, waste management, and medicine from the ground up. It would cost trillions, and even then, we couldn't replicate the natural balance. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but it might be the end of the world as we know it. We'd be living in a harsher, emptier, and far more dangerous version of Earth. All because we lost the bugs we thought we didn't need. Now you might be thinking, okay, Wildica, cool story. But this would never happen, right? Here's the terrifying part. It's already starting. Insect populations around the world are declining fast. Studies show that in some areas, over 70% of insect biomass has vanished in just a few decades. Scientists call it the insect apocalypse. Pesticides, habitat destruction, pollution, climate change. We're wiping them out without even realizing it. And with them, we're risking everything else. So what can you do? You're not a farmer or a scientist. You're probably not running an insect conservation program. But every action counts. Plant native flowers and trees. Give pollinators a home. Avoid chemical pesticides. Let nature find balance. Support local organic farms. They often use insect-friendly practices. Support scientific research and conservation efforts. Knowledge is power. And most importantly, change how we think about insects. They're not just pests, they're partners in survival. So, what if all insects disappeared? At first, it might feel like a blessing. But soon, it would become a curse. A world without insects is a world without balance, without abundance, without color, without life. Next time you see a bee hovering by a flower, or even an ant marching across your kitchen floor, maybe pause for a moment, because that tiny life might just be holding up the planet. Thanks for watching Wildica, where curiosity runs wild. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more mind-blowing animal facts, and hit the bell so you never miss a wild moment. And remember, sometimes the smallest creatures make the biggest difference. See you in the next one.